In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host, Varisha Masood, Women Club Lead of Air University Cybersecurity Society. Our society has organized today's session on the topic of cybersecurity overview and requirements in financial industry of Pakistan. Our esteemed guests for today are from Sadape, a safe and smart online money management platform that is created to ease the domestic and international payment processes in Pakistan. Mr. Abdul Qadir Sultan is the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at Sadape, and Mr. Umair Aziz is the Unit Head Information Security and IT Government at Sadape. In this session, the team will provide an overview of the financial industry of Pakistan and cybersecurity requirements in it, so that the students can prepare and equip themselves with the proper skills for the job market. The session will also cover the challenges and some key areas where skill scarcity exists. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Varisha, for the introduction. Shall we start, or are we waiting for any other participants to join in?
Yes, sir, please start now.
Recording in progress.
So, welcome on board, everyone. Myself is Umair Aziz, and I will be giving you the introduction of what Sadap is, what are the cybersecurity challenges in the financial industry, and what are the key controls that are required for any financial industry to institute to operate in Pakistan. So we'll keep it casual. We will have 40 minutes of session and 10, 20, 15 to 20 minutes of question and Q&A session at the end. So starting off, this is our company introduction, as Varisha has also explained to you guys. Sadape is a mobile wallet business that aims to eliminate the complexity of banking through modern technology and delightful customer experience. We are registered as Sadatech Pakistan with SECP or Security Exchange and Commission of Pakistan, and regulated by State Bank of Pakistan under EMI license rules. The company was founded by Mr. Brendan Timinski in 2019, and currently we are in the pilot phase, and we will launch our services by next quarter or within next month. And currently we have got around 400,000 people already in the wait list that are ready to join our services once we launch commercially. We've got our offices in Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi, and the head office is in Islamabad Ufon Tower. The current employee strength is around 100 plus employees. They are based out of different countries, and we appreciate people doing remote work as well. So we've got people working from Thailand, Indonesia, Germany, Australia, etc. Myself, I'm looking after the information security and IT governance domain. I've got over 10 years of experience in the field of information security. Before joining Sadape, I worked in Easy Pesa or Telenor Microfinance Bank and Prudential in Pakistan, while I was in Middle East for 6 years from 2014 till 2019, 2020. I graduated from Nust University back in early 2011, 2012. I've got some certifications in information security. My core strengths are mentioned here. You guys can reach me on LinkedIn or by email. What I will do is that after this meeting, I will send this slide deck to Varisha or Tuba so that you guys can have a look at the slide deck and can refer to it if you want any useful information out of it. With me is Mr. Abdul Qadir Sultan, who is our Chief Compliance and Risk Officer. Mashallah, he has over 16 years of experience in the field of internal audit, risk and compliance. He has worked in Bank Al-Fula, Easy Pesa, AKD Group as well. He's chartered accountant and SEMA certified, and you can reach him through LinkedIn or by email. So coming to the topic, just to give you an idea on how big the financial sector is in Pakistan. So just to understand from regulations point of view, State Bank of Pakistan is the regulator for all financial institutions in Pakistan. And with State Bank, there are around 50 plus companies that are registered within different domains, which are given in this table. So we've got commercial banks, you probably would know HBL, UBL, Standard Chartered, Alpha, JS Bank, Allied Bank, all of these banks. So there are total 33 banks that are registered with State Bank of Pakistan. Then there is development finance institutions. There are nine of them in Pakistan. Some of the examples are given here. Then there are microfinance banks like HBL Microfinance Bank, Khoshali Bank, Telenor, and microfinance banks. There is a new category that was launched in 2019 of EMIs, which stands for Electronic Money Institute, and Sadapay is one of them. So currently, State Bank has granted uh, two companies the license to operate under EMI rules, while three to four companies are under pilot phase, including Sadapay. There are around 50 plus exchange companies which deal with currencies and money exchange. Some of the examples are given in this table. Then there are credit bureaus, payment system operators, which are mostly the integrators. So overall, under State Bank, there are different financial institutions that operate, and each financial institute has their own independent team of cybersecurity and other domains. So State Bank's role is defined as that they are the regulator of financial institutions. Everyone in Pakistan which operate under them has to operate with the regulations and different circulars that they issue time after time. State Bank can audit any company at any time. They often request for different information from companies for compliance purposes, and they do proper audits for each company at least once every 2 years. And cybersecurity is one of the most important considerations in these audits and requests from State Bank of Pakistan. So what are the cybersecurity requirements as per State Bank or in Pakistan for financial institutions? So back in 2017, 2018, there was a major hack that happened with one of the commercial banks of Pakistan, after which State Bank started taking cybersecurity and information security very seriously, and they started issuing different circulars and regulations for which companies have to abide by. Uh, Information security was identified as one of the most important areas for financial institutions to invest and improve. And in this regard, the most comprehensive document came in 2017 with the name of Enterprise Technology Governance and Risk Management Framework. So we call it the Bible of information security and IT governance in banks and in financial institutions in Pakistan. So this is a list of different circulars which State Bank of Pakistan has issued in different times for banks to comply with. So for example, ETGRF, we talked about it. Then there is regulations for payment card security, security of digital payments, guidelines for outsourcing arrangements, outsourcing to cloud service providers, regulations for the security of internet banking. And during COVID, they issued a circular for enhancing cyber resilience for work from for home employees and different risks and threats that are there during work from home environment. So the next two slides would cover some of the key controls that information security departments in different banks or financial institutions have to work on. So we'll talk about them one by one. So first of all, the most important area is governance. So governance team generally looks after making policies and procedures, ensuring compliance with different standards and different regulations that we talked about. So Pci Dss is the most important standard in the industry, which talks about the security of credit cards and credit card numbers that financial institutions process. Then governance team is also responsible for conducting different audits as well. Information security team is responsible for continuous risk management, identification of assets and applying relevant controls to these assets, applying physical and environmental protections. Security administration and monitoring is one of the important controls that are there. So for example, implementation of security incident and event management tool, which is SIEM, development and establishment of SOC as a center for monitoring of all key alerts, then applying rules and controls for authentication and access control on all the internal and exposed applications. So whenever you go online and use any online banking channel, be it the mobile app or the web applications of banks. The authentication, the OTP, everything comes under this domain. Then there is system security. So for all the servers and network that is implemented, the teams have to implement different levels of security. For example, hardening of these systems, applying patches, doing vulnerability assessment, penetration testing of these systems. Then comes network security, which involves implementation of firewalls, implementation of different controls, for example, proxies, etc. Enabling encryption at different levels, be it during transit or at rest. Then there comes incident handling, which is a very important aspect of any organization, because there are only two types of organizations: ones who have been hacked, or one who have been hacked and they don't know. So incident handling is pretty important, because there is nothing like 100% security. So you will always have different attacks or different threats happening in your environment, and you should be able to identify them using monitoring and administration. And whenever you feel like any event has escalated to become an incident, there are different incident handling procedures that you have to apply, and you also have to report to state bank under different conditions. Then there's a control around security requirements and testing, so that involves doing periodic vulnerability assessments and penetration testing, uh, having threat intelligence feed from different industry renowned tools, and doing industry collaboration. So what State Bank does is that they create WhatsApp group of your key management employees and their staff, and they often share with each other different market news, different threats, different IOCs, indicators of compromise, so that people can block them on their firewall. There are different industry forums that are also created to better enable different teams to coordinate with each other. So banks have got their own Pakistan Banking Association. There are WhatsApp groups of different professionals of banking industries and financial institutions, who always coordinate with each other, discuss their problems, discuss their issues, and they often find a lot of help from each other using collaboration. Now, another control is patch management. This is a periodic activity whereby you have to apply security patches, which Microsoft or any other vendor often releases based upon different threats, different vulnerabilities that are found in the under black market or in the hacking industry. Secure software development lifecycle. So whatever applications are being developed by these financial institutions, there's a complete process that State Bank recommends for banks and organizations to follow, which includes implementing security at each layer: design, analysis, development, testing, production, post-production. So security teams are always involved in these activities along with IT departments. So cloud security is something that is pretty new. In back in 2020, before 2020, use of cloud was prohibited from State Bank to banks, but after 2020, State Bank has allowed the use of cloud in some specific uh, areas, and now the companies are investing in cloud architecture, cloud technologies as well, and cloud security becomes one of the most important new areas for banks to invest in or to work in. Business continuity and disaster recovery. So for example, if there is any incident in your data center or on your services, you should be able to recover quickly. That is your business continuity, and you should be able to offer your services from a disaster recovery site uh, within the defined time. So all of these controls show that the domain of cybersecurity in financial institutions is pretty huge. Generally, every bank has a team of their own information security team. Some of the services are outsourced as well, but having outsourced capabilities doesn't mean that you have transferred the the responsibility of ensuring confidentiality of data, be it customer data or financial data. So it has to be done by the internal teams, and there are big banks even have teams of around 20 to 30 people in cybersecurity. When you talk about opportunities, most of the banks are based out of Karachi, but some of the banks do have their teams based in different cities as well. And after COVID, especially, banks are now moving towards having remote kind of working enabled for their employees as well, because finding cybersecurity employees is very difficult in Pakistan. We'll cover that in next slides as well to talk in detail. Now, this slide helps you to understand how cybersecurity generally operates in different banks. So this is a general hierarchy. It will give you an idea on which of the fields are there in the banks. So the information security department is led by chief information security officer or head of information security. He generally reports to chief risk officer or CEO. Under him, generally, this is the most common hierarchy, so there might be some deviations. Under him, there are three different verticals. One vertical is of governance. We talked about the scope of governance in previous slides. One vertical is of security operations center or SOC, where monitoring team works in different shifts in L1 and L2 capacity. And SOC generally operates 24/7. So you would have at least three shifts whereby 2 to 3 people are working in each shift. Then there's a technical vertical where application security, network security is dealt with, and under each there are different teams. So this gives you a idea of how big the scope of cybersecurity is, what are the verticals, and which areas should you focus on if you are aspiring to work in any financial institution in Pakistan. Uh, when we talk about most common attacks in banks, generally nowadays, after sophistication of different vendor-based equipment, for example, firewalls or web application firewalls or different tools, now the most weakest link in any bank or any organization is the human being, because you cannot put any control against that. And social engineering thus has become very important. What happens is that people generally call you and they try to lure you to share your OTPs and passwords and sensitive information, be it your credit card numbers, etc. And this has become the most important attack that is happening in banks right now. There are other attacks as well. For example, identity thefts, denial of service or distributed denial of service, which we call DOS or DDoS, fraudulent transactions using any of the above techniques, and exploitation of application vulnerabilities. In this regard, Pakistan Banking Association came up with a media campaign few months back. I'm not sure if any one of you have seen this ad, but just for the sake of how this happens, I've put this for you to see. Let me know if you can able to hear it as well.
हेलो,
अस्सलामुअलैकुम सर, आपके बैंक से बात कर रही हूँ।
आपका डेबिट कार्ड सिक्योरिटी रीजंस की वजह से ब्लॉक कर दिया गया। अनब्लॉक करने के लिए अपना कार्ड नंबर
और पिन कोड बताएं।
हेलो मैम, सलाम।
आपको एसएमएस के जरिए
एक OTP कोड रिसीव हुआ होगा, वो बता दें। सर, आपके क्रेडिट कार्ड से कुछ मशकूक इंटरनेशनल ट्रांजैक्शन रिकॉर्ड की गई हैं। क्या? फौरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए अपना CVV वेरीफाई कर।
अभी बताता हूँ। फोन की घंटियां तो बजती रहती हैं, पर कुछ घंटियां खतरे की भी होती हैं। कोई भी बैंक या सरकारी इदारा कभी भी फोन, SMS या ईमेल के जरिए आपकी अकाउंट डिटेल्स, पिन कोड, OTP या डेबिट क्रेडिट कार्ड नंबर जैसी खास डिटेल कभी नहीं पूछता। अगर कोई कॉल, ईमेल या SMS के जरिए आपसे ये डिटेल मांगता है, तो ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि आप उस कॉल की तमाम डिटेल अपने बैंक के कॉल सेंटर को पहुंचा दें। तो फिर आए मिलकर इन जालसाजों को पकड़ते हैं।
A public service message by
So this shows that how sensitive this matter is, and banks have faced a lot of millions of transactions which were happened through these kind of attacks. Now, talking about resource challenges in industry. So as we saw that there are around 50 proper financial institutions in Pakistan, each needing dedicated team and resources at different levels. Now, due to the brain drain in Pakistan, so you probably would know that people generally fly out of Pakistan. Just a minute. Sorry. So a lot of people are traveling out of Pakistan for job market and other reasons. Is my screen visible?
No, sir.
Sorry, let me just reshare it again. Please let me know when it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. So now, as per this hierarchy that we talked about, at least you need 7 to 10 people in your information security department to work in different functions. And if you multiply that by 50 financial institutions, there are 500 jobs that are there in information security at any given time. And this is the minimum that we are talking about. Some banks have a team of around 30 to 40 people even. Now, uh, due to the scarcity of skilled resources, companies like SadaPay or HBL or Standard Chartered are facing a lot of difficulties in filling the required vacancies or to find the right candidates for these jobs. Uh, so it's very important that professionals having good knowledge and better attitude can, can start targeting to get these jobs from LinkedIn, social media, etc., and start applying for these jobs. Age University probably is the first university in Pakistan to offer bachelor's in cybersecurity or information security. So this means that previously, when people wanted to jump into information security, either they moved from IT, audit, or compliance departments, or they did different certifications to get that kind of a knowledge to move into these departments. But with these kind of courses now that Air University is offering and other universities will uh, take that forward as well, we would have resources in the industry that are ready to start joining these banks from the word go after their graduation. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप लोग जो हैं वो अपनी जो भी स्टडीज जब कंप्लीट होती हैं, जब आप लोग ग्रेजुएट होते हैं, तो अपने लास्ट ईयर के अंदर स्पेशली यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट इंटर्नशिप अपॉर्चुनिटीज at banks. You start talking to different people who are working in banks, start contacting them on LinkedIn, make your profiles accordingly to what you are aspiring to do. आपकी graduation के बाद you can do a lot of things. So for example, you can find a university where you can do masters in cyber and information security. Certification is very important in information security. Sometimes it is as important as masters as well for your career progression. So for example, if you are currently studying in a bachelor's program for cybersecurity, you start your job during your professional career, you will have to do certifications at different times. So during your first 1 to 3 years of your professional career, you probably would be doing CEH or CCNA or network security certifications. After 3 years, you would be doing mid-senior kind of certifications that includes CISM, Certified Information Security Manager, or CISA or CIS, based upon whichever vertical of cybersecurity you are working on. If you are working on application security or application security or ethical hacking side of information security, you would be looking at OSCP, OSWE, OSCE, all of these certifications. So with the progress of your career, it is important to make goals around your certifications as well, because certifications help you to remain up to date with recent threats and recent attacks, and also help you to progress in your career from a promotion point of view or for finding better opportunities. uh, Information security field जो है वो, it is continuously improving. uh, Cloud technology is there now. IoT, blockchain, AI, machine learning, all of these fields are evolving at a very rapid pace. So it's very important that you continuously study and research on newer threats, especially in these technologies. And cyber security की field के अंदर there is nothing like 100% security that you implement on a given day and you say कि इसके बाद कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. इसमें ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. आपके थ्रेड्स, आपके हैकर्स, malicious vectors जो हैं, they're evolving as well. So you have to evolve with them with time as well. So आपकी research, आपकी study जो है वो that should complement your this threat as well. These are some links that you can look at after this meeting to continuously study and keep yourself up to date with what's going on in cybersecurity. So the first two are of Pakistan related JISP platform. It has around more than 500 information security professionals of Pakistan industry, and they have their YouTube channel, they have their Facebook channel, and on these channels you can find videos related to different certifications, different technologies, email security, application security, and it's free for you to learn from these channels. PCI DSS, as we spoke earlier, is a standard that talks about credit card security, which is very important for financial institutions. Blipping Computer is a blog that regularly updates on cybersecurity related incidents, events, vulnerabilities that were found. Then there is National Institute of Science and Technology of US. They have a lot of standards and different documents, guidelines for professionals to follow. And we generally do follow NIST standard for incident management, or NIST standard for cybersecurity, cloud security, application security. So their standards are well renowned in the industry. Similarly, SANS also is similar to NIST, where they have their own circulars and regulations. They have their own certifications as well. OWASP is Open Web Application Security Platform, which every year comes up with top 10 vulnerabilities of mobile application, web application. They have their application security guidelines as well. So if you are looking into the domain of application security or mobile security, then OWASP is something that you should check out on a daily basis. Before we proceed further, we've got 1 minute, after which probably this meeting would be terminated. So you would have to join back again. Just a minute. Okay. So financial institutions, now to sum up everything, there is a huge demand of cybersecurity professionals, and the banks are often facing a lot of issues in filling their vacancies or finding right people for the right job. Cybersecurity की field के अंदर people generally try to fill in these vacancies by bringing people from other departments. But the ideal case would be if I can find a resource who is ready to join my bank or my organization with enough knowledge. आप अभी cyber security के bachelor's के अंदर we have gone through the course outline that you guys have. You are covering everything. So just during your third year, it's very important to finalize which vertical you want to pursue further and start finding internships around that department. Start doing research, technical studies, keeping yourself up to date with that. And if you want to join financial institutions, it's very important that you go on to State Bank's website, you find Enterprise Technology Governance and Risk Management Framework, ETGRF, study that what are the things that banks have to do in cybersecurity, and it will give you a lot of edge in your interviews or in your placements in different organizations. So
Pakistan needs to secure its cyberspace. Pakistan is digitalizing at a rapid pace due to major transformative initiatives by the government of Pakistan. with 65% as tech-savvy youth of its 220 million population. Nearly 75% of total population have mobile phones and access to internet. This asset, with the right strategic direction, could be a stepping stone for a future global digital hub. However, cybersecurity risks have emerged as a serious threat to Pakistan's national security. The vulnerabilities of Pakistan's tech ecosystem to cyber attacks are exacerbated due to a lack of awareness.
Recording in progress.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
जी वालेकुम सलाम।
सर आप मुझे को होस्ट बना सकते हैं दोबारा से?
सॉरी
सर को होस्ट बना दें दोबारा से, थैंक यू।
So just give us a couple of minutes. Abdul Qadir is joining back. So now he will speak for 5 minutes and then we can have Q&A session.
Sure, sir.
So can you guys hear me properly? I think I'm not able to start my video. I think this host needs to allow that.
Alaikum sir. Sir, you can do it now.
Ikru, I guess you now we can see you. Over to you, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think you guys can hear me now. Yeah, so thank you so much, Umair Aziz, for the insightful session. I think it was very helpful for the students, and a big thank you to Dr. Marine Afzal for actually inviting us. And I remember the last time we met her in her office, she was very enthusiastic for the future and the careers of all our students. So I think we were very impressed with the level of dedication. So big shout out to her and her team as well. Uh, there were a few points that I would like to make, not maybe technical, but I think more related to the soft skills and the behavioral aspect of uh, our cybersecurity professional that I have experienced over a period of time. So I think there are three things that I would like to touch upon very briefly. The first one is that my experience with dealing with cybersecurity professionals has been that they're very, let's say, they have a very short term kind of an approach. Like they join one company and then they instantly try to find new options or new avenues. And look, your career is, let's say, spans over, let's say, 25, 30 years. So you shouldn't be short term. You should look at the long term opportunities. And there is no shortage of jobs for cybersecurity professionals. So if anybody is worried that I might not get a job or I might not get an opportunity or I might not get work, so he's on the wrong side. You will definitely get opportunities. You will get the best opportunities. There is a huge shortfall of cybersecurity professionals in Pakistan and abroad. So don't feel like you won't get any job or you'll be stuck for in one job role or company forever. So plan whatever you want to do on a long term basis rather than a short term basis. Don't see, let's say, very small jumps in your career and try to take them and then feel that you're somehow stuck in one place and then it's tricky to get out. So think more about long terms and good company. So that is the first point that I wanted to make. The second point is a lot of cyber professionals that I've worked with, they're more, let's say, towards the 9 to 5 kind of a thing. Though that's 5 p.m. my work is over. I think you have to be very passionate about what you do, uh, because every day you learn something new. So if you're not passionate and you don't work hard towards achieving your objectives, it would be very tricky to actually take that jump in your career. So be very passionate and be very hardworking about what you do. The third part is I think we are living in an era of constant change. If 10 years ago someone would have told me that, oh, I can, let's say, book a cab through my cell phone or maybe make financial transactions through my cell phone, I would have laughed at that guy. But now that is possible, and that is a part of our everyday life. Same would be the case in the next 5-10 years. Things would change rapidly, and same is the case for your industry as well. So I think it's a famous saying that the only constant in life is change. So everything is changing. So you need to adapt and you need to be comfortable with that change. When I started my career, especially in the field of taxation, our teachers used to say that you need to learn, unlearn, and then relearn. And that holds true for that profession and for your profession as well. The cybersecurity techniques, prospects, things are so much changing every day. So you need to be prepared for, let's say, that change all the time, and you need to constantly learn new things. And if you are able to do that, I think sky is the limit. And with the level of understanding and the technical skills and uh, the enthusiasm that you guys have, the way your faculty is actually um, helping you out on things, and the way they are engaging with the corporates to help you guys out, I think that is tremendous. So uh, all the very best to all the students out there, and please ask questions. No question is a stupid question, so we would love to answer all your questions, myself or Umair. And thank you so much, Air University and team, for inviting us. Thank you so much. Any
Thank you,
questions you would
Ike.
like to ask anyone?
Yep. The floor is open. आप लोगों का कोई भी question है, just raise your hand, and Tuba would ask you to speak when your turn is there. So we've got 15-20 minutes, so please be open and just start asking questions.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम सलाम।
सर हमें फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या करना चाहिए कि एक स्टूडेंट बिल्कुल न्यू हो अपनी फील्ड के अंदर, अब वो कितना वो अरसा अपनी पढ़े और उसके लिहाज से जो है ना चीजें सीखे, तो कब उसे जो है अपनी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ के लिहाज से चीजें स्टार्ट करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि यूनिवर्सिटी के लिहाज से भी उसे कुछ ना कुछ सीखना पड़ता है, और साथ साथ कुछ बच्चे होते हैं कि मुकम्मल जो है ना चीजों को बहुत स्लोली स्लोली सीखते हैं, तो उनके लिए क्या बेहतरीन रिकमेंडेशन है?
यार आई वुड रिकमेंड कि आप अपने थर्ड ईयर में जब होते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी के, तो दैट इज आइडियल टाइम, बिकॉज उस वक्त आप अपने अपनी डिग्री के बहुत करीब होते हैं फिनिश के, तो उस टाइम पे आप यू स्टार्ट प्लानिंग योर कैरियर। आप रिसर्च कर सकते हैं कि आप अब फॉर एग्जांपल आप बाय थर्ड ईयर यू हैव मोस्टली डन योर मेजर्स एज वेल, सो यू नो कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी की फील्ड में फॉर एग्जांपल आपने एप्लीकेशन सिक्योरिटी फील्ड पे फोकस करना है, आपने मॉनिटरिंग साइड पे फोकस करना है, आपने रिसर्च करनी है डिफरेंट चीज़ों में, तो आपको फिर पीएचडी और मास्टर्स की तरफ जाना है, या आपने स्टडीज को जो है वो आगे और परसू करना है। सो इट्स नॉट क्रिटिकल और इम्पोर्टेंट कि आप बोलें कि जी मैंने डिग्री खत्म करते ही जॉब कर लेनी है, ऐसी कोई रेस नहीं है। It all depends on different people, different attitude. Everyone has their own attitude or plans. So if you want कि आप बैचलर्स करने के फौरन बाद मास्टर्स करें, that is also pretty good. If you want कि आप पहले बैचलर्स करें, 2 साल का एक्सपीरियंस लेने और फिर मास्टर्स करें, that is also some people do, because उसमें you get a flavor of both worlds, and आपका मास्टर्स ज्यादा पर्पस ओरिएंटेड आपको फील होता है, बट every approach is fine as long as इट इज व्हाट यू वांट। सो आप अपने अपने आप को अपने थर्ड ईयर में जो है ना, दैट आई वुड आल्सो रेकमेंड के उसमें यू स्टार्ट डूइंग इंटर्नशिप्स, असाइन योरसेल्फ विद एनी कंपनी, एनी मेंटोर दैट कैन गाइड यू बेटर, और अपना वर्टिकल जो है ना वो उसको आप लॉक तो मैं नहीं कहूंगा, क्योंकि आप हमेशा चेंज कर सकते हैं करियर। आजकल के एरा में देयर इज नथिंग लाइक आपने एकदम एक जॉब शुरू की तो सारी जिंदगी उधर ही रहेंगे, बट एटलीस्ट आप अपने इंटरेस्ट की बेस के ऊपर डिफरेंट जगहों पे अपने आप को जहाँ पे बेहतर समझते हैं उसके ऊपर रिसर्च शुरू कर सकते हैं। सो फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको अपनी एग्जांपल दूंगा, मैं जब अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में था तो मेरी थर्ड ईयर तक साइबर सिक्योरिटी, क्योंकि 2009-10 में इतनी कॉमन नहीं थी पूरे पाकिस्तान में, दुनिया में काम हो रहा था, पर पाकिस्तान में तो इट वाज वेरी नाइव फॉर एनीवन टू हियर कि जी मैं साइबर सिक्योरिटी में जॉब करूंगा। बट लकीली थर्ड ईयर के अंदर साइबर सिक्योरिटी की एक कंपनी थी, वो हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी आई, उन्होंने एक सेशन करवाया, मुझे काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, मैंने उनसे बात की, उनके साथ इंटर्नशिप की, और मैं अपने पूरे 1 साल तक थर्ड ईयर और फोर्थ ईयर में उनके साथ असाइंड रहा डिफरेंट छोटी छोटी जॉब्स के लिए, कामों के लिए। उन्होंने मुझे ट्रेन किया, पहली जॉब भी मुझे उन्होंने दी। सो इस तरह की कोलैबोरेशन की वजह से काफ़ी हेल्प मिलती है। तो एयर यूनिवर्सिटी की इंडस्ट्री कोलैबोरेशन का फ़ायदा उठाएं, जो डिफरेंट सेशंस कंपनीज करवाती हैं ओपन हाउस के वक्त, ओपन हाउस से पहले, उसमें आप अपने इंटरेस्ट को भी एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। नॉट एवरीवन कम्स विद अ नेचुरल इंस्टिंक्ट कि मुझे मैंने इसी में काम करना है, यू हैव अ राइट टू एक्सप्लोर एज वेल, बट आप ये सिर्फ ये ना समझें कि ग्रेजुएशन की स्टडी वुड बी इनफ फॉर यू टू प्रोग्रेस, एंड जीपीए और एनी ग्रेड्स would define your career as well. I'm saying it to university students, but in practicality, अगर आप हार्ड वर्किंग हो, अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट डेवलप हो चुका है एंड यू वांट टू परस्यू इट, देन स्काई इज द लिमिट। उसमें बाकी कुछ चीज मैटर नहीं करती इफ यू आर ऑनेस्ट विद योरसेल्फ एंड यू आर डूइंग हार्ड वर्क। सो थर्ड ईयर इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू स्टार्ट वर्किंग। if I hope that this answers your questions.
Yes sir, thank you.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
नाम
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है कि क्या आप इंटर्नशिप्स और भी ऑफर करते हैं, कोई सर्टिफिकेशन वगैरह हो स्टूडेंट्स के पास हो?
यार अभी हमारा प्लान होगा जब नेक्स्ट ग्रेजुएशन का टाइम आएगा तो वी वुड कम अप विद समथिंग फॉर स्टूडेंट्स एज वेल in different domains, be it cybersecurity, marketing, or any other department. And for that to happen, as I spoke earlier, आप अपनी LinkedIn प्रोफाइल को मेंटेन करें और LinkedIn के ऊपर you always keep on following these companies that you want to work with or that you want to be part of. और फिर उनकी पोस्ट, जैसे अगर सादा पे की बात करते हैं तो सादा पे में हमारी जो भी वैकेंसी आती है वी पब्लिश इट ऑन आवर वेबसाइट और ऑन आवर LinkedIn पेज. So keep following it. Hopefully by May or June, we would come up with some plan for internships in cybersecurity and other departments, and you can always plan to join that and you can apply in that.
ओके सर, एक और चीज है कि जिस तरह थर्ड ईयर में अगर कोई आपकी कंपनी में काम करना चाहे तो इस एट द राइट मोमेंट क्या आप उसे कोई जॉब ऑफर कर सकते हैं अगर वो कोई
यार
आपके लिए
इंटर्नशिप्स, देखें इंटर्नशिप, हाँ इंटर्नशिप्स तो ऑफर होती हैं, थर्ड ईयर के बाद ही होती है, वो मैंडेटरी भी होती है कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज में, कुछ में ऑप्शनल होती है, बट लोग करते हैं. दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट एवरीवन टू डू एटलीस्ट फ्रीलांस कर लें, आप ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे अप्लाई करके वहां पे कर लें, आप कंपनीज के साथ कर लें. यू ऑलवेज टेंड टू डू दैट. और अगर कोई रिसोर्स इंटर्नशिप पीरियड में अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है तो दैट कैन लीड टू अ जॉब एज वेल. वो बेशक रिमोट जॉब हो. मैं आपको अपनी एग्जांपल जैसे मैंने दी, तो मैंने थर्ड ईयर में एक इंटर्नशिप से काम शुरू किया था और दैट इंटर्नशिप हेल्प मी टू वर्क विद दैट कंपनी फॉर इवन इन माय फोर्थ ईयर एज वेल. तो मैं जब थर्ड ईयर के एंड पे था मैंने उनको ज्वाइन किया, इंटर्नशिप पीरियड खत्म हुआ 6 ईयर्स का, बट उनके साथ मैं एंगेज रहा और वो मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में भी मुझे फायदा हो रहा था और मैं उनके साथ सीख भी रहा था. So it all depends upon how you perform in your internship and if you want to continue it and there is a valid work that you can do. तो companies do prefer people doing remote work nowadays, especially COVID के बाद. तो अब पहले तो होता था कि लोगों का ऑफिस आना जरूरी था, बट कोविड के बाद तो everyone has realized कि remote work is something that you can do.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam.
Sir, I have a question about Sadapay, if I can ask about that.
जी पूछें.
Sir, to my knowledge, it was launched in 2019, I guess. It's now 2022, and Sadapay is still in initial stages. So, what is it you're gonna say that it's gonna change in 2022? I mean, what is it that's it's not 2022 isn't gonna be like 2019 or 2020 or 2021?
Okay. I guess ये cyber security से related है, तो AQ probably can answer it better.
Right. So I think Sadapay ने ऐसा तो ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट किए थे 2019 में, राइट. सो क्योंकि एक रेगुलेटेड स्पेस है, ये रेगुलेटेड बिजनेस है और स्टेट बैंक इसको रेगुलेट करता है, तो इस लाइसेंस के काफ़ी सारे स्टेजेस हैं जो हमें जिसके थ्रू एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को गुजरना पड़ता है. तो हम उन स्टेजेस से गुजर रहे हैं. हमारे पास एक लिमिटेड सेट ऑफ अलाउंस था रेगुलेटर की तरफ से जिन कस्टमर्स को हम ऑनबोर्ड कर सकते थे. दैट वाज द नंबर ऑफ 10,000 कस्टमर्स. सो वी हैव ऑनबोर्डेड दैट. कमर्शियल लॉन्च के लिए हमें ऑब्वियसली एक और स्टेप जाना पड़ेगा जिसके हम बहुत क्लोज हैं. तो जैसे ही वो आ जाएगा तो फिर हम मैस वो करेंगे, क्योंकि स्टेट बैंक की भी ऑब्वियसली रेपुटेशन है, उन्होंने फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम को भी मैनेज करना है पाकिस्तान के, तो बड़ा ज़रूरी होता है कि वो उनका कंफर्ट भी हो हमारे सिस्टम में और हम भी अपने ऑब्वियसली टेस्ट करें चीज़ों को, क्या हमारी चीज़ें प्रॉपर्ली चल रही हैं. लोगों का पैसा है इसमें इन्वॉल्व, तो बड़ा ज़रूरी है कि हमें भी अपने उस पर कॉन्फिडेंस हो और स्टेट बैंक को भी हो. तो इसलिए वो स्टेट बैंक के अपने प्रोसेसेस होते हैं, वो वेरीफाई करते हैं, चीज़ें देखते हैं आके. तो वो उस प्रोसेस से हम मोर और लेस गुजर चुके हैं. तो जैसे ही वो कंप्लीट होगा तो फिर हम मैस लेवल पे लॉन्च करेंगे. तो अभी हमें सिर्फ साल हुआ है ऑपरेशन अपने स्टार्ट किए. वैसा नहीं है कि 2019 में
इंटरप्ट सर, लेकिन आपका इस बारे में क्या ख्याल है कि ये कब तक फुली फंक्शनल हो जाएगा? टू योर गेस, कौन सा मतलब कितना इसको टाइम अभी और रिक्वायर्ड है इस Sadapay में?
जी हम लोग तो रेडी हैं. एज सच हमारी तो सारी चीज़ें रेडी है. जैसे हमें ग्रीन सिग्नल मिलेगा रेगुलेटर की तरफ से तो हम इंशाल्लाह जल्दी लॉन्च करेंगे. तो आप Q1 2022 में कुछ एक्सपेक्ट करें, मे बी इन फरवरी एंड मार्च इंशाल्लाह.
आई थिंक अब्दुल्ला ने जिससे क्वेश्चन पूछा वो वेट लिस्ट पे वेट कर रहा काफी अरसे से.
No sir, I was not waiting on the waiting list but my friend is sir. So मेरे knowledge में sir 2022 में आया, तो I asked him, तो he said I'm on waiting list from 2019. I was shocked to be honest. So yeah, that's why I asked the question. Okay sir,
we are very happy कि हमारे पास कस्टमर है जो इतना वेट कर रहे हैं.
Good
बेचारे हमें
initiative.
अच्छा ही लगता है उनको वेट कराना.
Inshallah sir, we're looking forward to it.
इंशाल्लाह।
अस्सलामुअलैकुम सर। सर मेरे 2 क्वेश्चंस हैं। पहला ये है कि ट्रेंड्स चेंज हो रहे हैं जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो रही है, क्योंकि अभी हमारे पास बहुत बड़ा बूम आ रहा है ब्लॉकचेन का, क्लाउड का, तो ट्रेंड्स चेंज होते जा रहे हैं। तो क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या अब पहले जैसे पेन टेस्टिंग होती थी, एक जनरलाइज पेन टेस्टर कहा जाता था प्रोफेशनल को, तो अब क्या ऐसे वो अब ऐसे चांसेस हैं कि अब ये चेंज हो रहा है, तो अब कंपनी इस साइड पे ज़्यादा जाएंगी कि जी हमें ब्लॉकचेन सिक्योरिटी प्रोफेशनल चाहिए, हमें क्लाउड सिक्योरिटी प्रोफेशनल चाहिए, या हमें वेब एप्लीकेशन सिक्योरिटी प्रोफेशनल चाहिए, बजाय इसके कि एक जनरलाइज जो पेन टेस्टर होता है उसके।
अच्छा,
और
ठीक है।
दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि सादा पे में अभी तक अपने जो ज़्यादातर हायरिंग हुई है, जो रिसेंटली मैंने देखा था, उसमें ज़्यादातर वो थे इंडस्ट्री में जो टॉप लेवल के लोग थे सिक्योरिटी के, फॉर एग्जांपल 5 to 6 years एक्सपीरियंस हैविंग OSCP एंड लाइक दैट बिग सर्टिफिकेशंस। तो जो फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट्स हैं उनके लिए क्या आप आगे कैटेगरीज कुछ बनाएंगे, उनके लिए अपॉर्चुनिटीज बनाएंगे, या फिलहाल आप स्टार्टिंग में ऐसे ही लेके चलेंगे इसे?
ठीक है, चलें वन बाय वन करते हैं। अच्छा, पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग की आपने बात की, देखें जितनी जितनी आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी मैच्योर होगी विद टाइम, आपका वनरेबिलिटी असेसमेंट के अंदर फॉल्स पॉजिटिव का रेट कम हो जाएगा। पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग कोई भी टूल नहीं कर सकता, ठीक है। वनरेबिलिटी असेसमेंट टूल बेस्ड होती है, पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग हमेशा मैनुअल टेक्निक से होती है। आप बर्फ सूट यूज करें, आप मेटास्प्लॉइट यूज करें, आप और अपनी अपनी स्किल्स को यूज करें वेब एप्लीकेशन या मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन को ब्रेक करने के लिए, तो वो तो अपनी जगह पे रहेगी, उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस भी रहेगी। वनरेबिलिटी असेसमेंट जो है वो काफी मेच्योर हो जाएगी विद टाइम। अभी भी अगर आप 2010 से अगर कंपेयर करें या 2015 से भी कंपेयर करें, तो जितने भी आपके टूल्स हैं वनरेबिलिटी असेसमेंट के, बेशक नेसेस हो, नेक्सपोज हो, रैपिड 7 के टूल्स हो, ये सब के सब टूल्स का फॉल्स पॉजिटिव परसेंटेज काफी इंप्रूव हुआ है विद टाइम। बट पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग की इंपॉर्टेंस अपनी जगह पे रहेगी, बिकॉज दैट इज समथिंग जो आउट ऑफ वे जाके जो टूल नहीं कर सकता। बिकॉज देखें, डिफरेंस ये है कि टूल ने हमेशा बिहेवियर को देखना है, ठीक है। टूल कभी भी बिजनेस की जो वनरेबिलिटीज है उनको एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं कर सकता। मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि आजकल की मोबाइल एप्लीकेशंस या वेब एप्लीकेशंस के अंदर एसक्यूएल इंजेक्शन, क्रॉस साइट अगर एग्जिस्ट भी करती होगी तो वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं होती मोस्टली, क्योंकि जो पीछे फ्रेमवर्क यूज कर रहे हैं आप .NET के या डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस के, लारावेल के या किसी के भी, वो इतने सोफिस्टिकेटेड हो गए हैं कि वो उन अटैक्स को खुद ही रोक देते हैं। बट जो बिजनेस फ्लो के इश्यूज हैं, इनपुट वैलिडेशन के इश्यूज हैं, वो अभी भी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, क्योंकि डेवलपमेंट एक मैनुअल काम है। मैं डेवलपमेंट कर रहा हूँ तो मैं मिस्टेक करूंगा, वो मिस्टेक को या वो क्वालिटी का बग होगा या वो सिक्योरिटी का बग होगा, और अगर सिक्योरिटी का बग होगा तो वो पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग से ही आइडेंटिफाई होगा। ये टूल्स आपको एक हद तक प्रोटेक्शन दे सकते हैं। सो टू समराइज, पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग वुड रिमेन देयर। आपकी स्किल्स जो हैं दैट शुड बी देयर टू पेनिट्रेशन। आप जो पीटी की एक्सरसाइज करते हैं उसमें आपका पर स्कोप बढ़ जाएगा कि आप क्लाउड को भी पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग करेंगे, आप कन्वेंशनल डेटा सेंटर या कन्वेंशनल आईटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की भी पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग करेंगे, और आप एप्लीकेशंस की भी पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग करेंगे। तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि अगर आप पीटी की फील्ड को चूज करते हैं तो उसमें अपने आप को एडवांस करें। और ये जो क्लाउड सिक्योरिटी है, AWS है बेशक, या GCP है, या एज्योर है, इनकी सिक्योरिटी को आप देखें, उसके अंदर भी अच्छे खासे बग्स निकलते हैं, अच्छी वल्नरेबिलिटीज निकलती है, और बग बाउंटी प्रोग्राम्स हैं हर बड़ी कंपनी के, जो आप घर पे बैठ के फ्रीलांस के तौर पे भी आप एज अ हॉबी कर सकते हैं। और आपको अगर आपने सक्सेसफुली कोई बग एक्सप्लॉइट किया तो यू कैन अर्न फ्रॉम दैट एज वेल। यस्टरडे एप्पल की हिस्ट्री में सबसे बड़ा बग बाउंटी अवार्ड उन्होंने दिया है $100,000 का। उनकी सफारी की वेब ब्राउजर के अंदर यूनिवर्सल एक्सेस की एक वनरेबिलिटी थी, जिसकी वजह से समवन कैन एक्सप्लॉइट दैट वनरेबिलिटी एंड कैन डू एनीथिंग ऑन योर मैकबुक और थ्रू योर सफारी। और उस पे एप्पल ने उस बंदे को $100,000 दिए हैं। तो दिस इज द लेवल ऑफ वर्क और सोफिस्टिकेशन दैट इज आउट देयर। और ये जिस बंदे ने किया है, ही इज अ एथिकल हैकर, ठीक है। वो पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग के थ्रू ही उसने किया है, उसने कोई टूल यूज नहीं किया, उसने कोई इस तरह का VA का टूल को यूज नहीं किया। सो PT वुड रिमेन देयर। नाउ कमिंग टू योर सेकंड पॉइंट, सी एज वी स्पोक अर्लियर के सादा पे अभी एक अपनी इनिशियल स्टेज के ऊपर है, तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम इस स्टेज के ऊपर अपनी टीम्स या अपने सीनियर लोगों को हम लेके आ रहे थे, बिकॉज उन्होंने स्ट्रक्चर बनाना था। अब हमने जब वो हायर कर लिए आप मिड सीनियर लेवल की बात करते हैं, 5 to 6 years का एक्सपीरियंस है या 7 to 8 years का एक्सपीरियंस है, तो उनने आगे अपनी टीम बनानी होगी। जैसे अभी हमने यहाँ पे बात की थी हायरार्की के अंदर, जो जनरली हायरार्की होती है, अगर मैंने यहाँ पे यूनिट हेड सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशन सेंटर रख लिया या गवर्नेंस का बंदा रख लिया या एप्लीकेशन सिक्योरिटी का बंदा रख लिया, तो उसने अपने नीचे और बंदे रखने हैं। तो फर्स्ट स्टेज में आप हमेशा इसको फिल करते हैं, उसके बाद फिर आप सॉक टीम या गवर्नेंस टीम या नीचे ऐप की टीम्स को रखते हैं। तो हम उसमें थ्रू इंटर्नशिप या थ्रू एंट्री लेवल पोजीशंस भी हम उसमें वैकेंसीज लॉन्च करेंगे मई जून के अंदर या Q2 के अंदर, और उसमें आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं ऑब्वियसली। सो आई होप दोनों क्वेश्चंस एड्रेस हो गए हों आपके।
जी सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, आपने काफी अच्छा आंसर कर दिया।
एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? I guess that's it. I don't see any question, any hands up. So thank you everyone. It was very fruitful to share my experience and our experiences with you guys and to answer your questions. I hope this will help you to better be ready for your next phase. And ये मेरा email नीचे आ रहा है, LinkedIn के ऊपर you can always connect. Any one of us can talk to us, can take guidance from us. And after this meeting I will like to send these slides to your team so that वो आपके साथ शेयर कर लें by email, या आप लोगों का जो भी LMS है और इसमें जो भी links हैं, जो भी information है, then you can spend time on doing research on those. So thank you everyone. Thank you Dr.
Yes, sir.
Marine.
Everyone for your time and your patience. Today's session was very informative. I hope that we can collaborate in the future. The recording of this session will be available on the website.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी वालेकुम सलाम।
जी वालेकुम
अच्छा,
डॉक्टर।
हाँ, बहुत शुक्रिया आपके बहुत ही अच्छे टॉक का, और आई होप कि स्टूडेंट्स को इससे बेनिफिट होगा इंशाल्लाह, और मे बी इन फ्यूचर वी वुड लाइक सम मोर इंटरेक्शंस एज वेल, बिकॉज जैसे आप लोग इस फील्ड में आपको लोगों की जरूरत है, और दूसरी तरफ यहाँ पर जब हम ये सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाते हैं तो हम यही सोच के पढ़ाते हैं कि ये यहाँ पर ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूटिलाइज हो हमारे अपने मुल्क के अंदर, जहाँ पर के इस फील्ड की अभी बहुत कम लोग हैं। तो इंशाल्लाह आई होप कि हमारी इंटरेक्शन जो है वो आगे भी चलेगी, और आई वुड से थैंक यू वेरी मच अगेन फॉर योर टाइम एंड फॉर योर टॉक।
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Dr. Saber, for having us, and inshallah we'll have the next session in person, inshallah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time and knowledge. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. Today's session was very informative. I hope that we can collaborate in future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Recording stopped.